Hello and happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome along to this week's deep dive. My name is Marcus. I'm a customer success specialist here at Sendible, and it's great to be joined by you all. This week's topic, we are going to focus on how to successfully delete, make users inactive, and repurpose dashboards. So we're kind of going to be focused on what happens if a team member or a client leaves, a new one is joining, or if the actual admin on your account is leaving, and what to do with their user details. All right, so I hope that's going to be of interest to you all. I'm going to begin to share my screen. I will hopefully be joined in about 15 minutes by a support team member who will be able to answer any questions that you have on this topic. We do ask you, if you have questions, to keep them relevant to the topic. So, deleting and repurposing users, and then we'll make sure we have time to answer those questions. And for those that haven't joined us before, just to kind of guide you around. So to the right-hand side, you will see a few tabs, one for questions. So if you do have any questions, ask your questions here. So I just say questions go here. So you should see a little notification in the questions tab. And we also have a chat tab where a few people are saying hello. So you've got Anne, Farinaz, and Peter saying hi. So feel free to pop a little greeting in the chat tab there as well. Now, before we start, for those that have been with us for some sessions before, we like to do little icebreakers on a Thursday afternoon in UK, probably morning for some of you. So today's icebreaker is about the Winter Olympics. You see what I've done with the ice there. What is your favorite winter sport? So what are you seeing in the Winter Olympics that makes you think, oh yeah, how cool is this? This morning I saw like a snowboarding race. I think it was the finals, and the four were just sort of going over the humps, and that was really exciting, giving me memories of when I used to be able to do that myself. So I'm going to go with snowboarding. But if you get your answers in the chat, let me know what your favorite winter sport is. I know we don't like to think about winter because it's cold, but let's see what we've got. So Ali says women's mogul skiing. I'm not sure what mogul skiing is, but every day's a school day, so I will find out. Everyone goes and Googles winter sports. Yeah, Pete, that's true. Sarah is a fan of the ice skating. Figure skating from Anne. That would be my mum's favorite. And Chloe Kim says go CA. Oh, okay. Is that Canada? Is it? Awesome. Snowboarding. Excellent. Well, get those in. And hopefully you should all be able to see my screen. I'm in the calendar section right now. But for the majority of this deep dive, I'm going to head over to manage users. Okay. So I'm going to select one of my headers up here. And once again, this is available to admins. Only administrators on the dashboard will see the manage users option. So please bear that in mind. It's only admins that can add and edit and delete users. So I'm going over to manage users. Now, the scenario today is I have a designer that works in my company, and my designer is leaving soon. Okay. So what happens when a team member or a dashboard user is leaving? We're going to want to do a few things to their user. The first thing we may want to do is, because when someone leaves, we don't want them to be able to access their dashboard again and delete or do any changes. Right, they've left the company. So the first thing I may want to do is to make them inactive. This will mean that they will not be able to use their login details to access their dashboard. So that might be the first thing to do. But if I make a dashboard inactive, I might lose any scheduled posts. I might not have access to any content that was saved to the content library. And I may lose access to any reports or any profiles that this designer dashboard was the owner of. So before I make them inactive or actually delete the user, I want to do a few things first. I want to make sure they don't have any scheduled posts. And if they do, I may want to take them from that designer dashboard and export them to my dashboard. So let's just take a quick look at the assets that could be left over when a team member leaves or needs to be removed. So the first thing I'm going to do is just impersonate the designer dashboard. So I'm going to use up here, and I'm going to switch into the designer dashboard so I can see what this dashboard has access to. So if I look at the calendar, the first thing I notice is that this designer dashboard has 14 posts that are scheduled to go out between the rest of February and also leading into March. So there's quite a lot of posts that the designer dashboard has scheduled. Now, if I make that dashboard inactive, or even worse, delete, these scheduled posts may not go live. So what I may want to do is to take these posts from the designer dashboard and upload them into a dashboard that's going to remain active. So I can go into my scheduled area and I can actually download these 14 posts. I can select the 14 posts that are scheduled. Then I can use this option here to download and export these as a CSV. Once I've exported these as a CSV, so that will start the download in just a second, I could then navigate into a dashboard that's going to remain active. So you can see the download here, messages 48. So maybe I could go back into sort of my main dashboard and do a bulk upload. So I could take that CSV that I downloaded from the designer dashboard and upload it into my dashboard, which is going to remain active. So I could upload the CSV. It was this one right here. And then I can choose the same profile because I have access to that profile. But that's what we'll talk about that next. And then I can go and import these 14 messages, which is great. That means when I go and delete the designer dashboard, I'm still have those 14 posts that are scheduled to go out. They'll just be scheduled from my dashboard. So if I go into scheduled or the calendar, you'll see those 14 posts are now showing. I still have access to the designer dashboard, which is why everything is showing twice. But if I just look at mine, you can see now I have those 14 posts for February rolling into March. That will then allow me to go back into the dashboard that I'm soon to delete and delete those 14 posts that were originally scheduled by designer. So I can filter by user. These are those 14 posts scheduled by designer. I can now just go and delete those. So that's how you can take scheduled posts from a dashboard you intend to delete and import it into another dashboard. Now, another scenario may be that this designer dashboard is the owner of some profiles that I am not. So if I, while in the designer's dashboard, go to my profiles, I can see that the designer dashboard owns these 3 Facebook pages. Now, if I delete or make this profile inactive, I will lose access to these profiles. So before I go ahead and do that, I'm going to want to transfer these profiles over to another dashboard. Okay, so in order to do this, you can use the 3 dots here, and then you can transfer rather than share the profile, which would still make designer the owner. We want to transfer ownership to another dashboard user. And then you can select who that dashboard user will be. Now, something to bear in mind, when you are transferring profiles from one dashboard to another, you won't be able to transfer a profile if it's already shared with someone. So if the Here Force One Facebook page was shared with Marcus McLagan, then when I go to transfer this profile, Marcus McLagan will not be available in this list. So you would first need to unshare the profile with anyone that you intend to transfer it over to. Hope that makes sense. So you'd go ahead and transfer those profiles over. Now, so we looked at how to transfer posts from one dashboard to another. We looked at how to transfer profiles. Now, there's a few other assets that unfortunately can't be moved from one dashboard to another as easy as what we've discussed. And those are things that you have saved in the content library. So in the designer's content library, there's various different libraries. You have my hashtags, my common replies, and my videos. Now, if I delete this user dashboard, these content libraries will also be deleted. So there's a little bit of admin that needs to be done if you want to secure these pieces of content. So I'll kind of show you a quick way on how to do this. What I'm going to do is go into my dashboard that's going to remain. And I'm going to create a new library. And I'm going to say maybe just content from designer dashboard. Okay. Now I'm going to make the designer a contributor to this library. Okay, so I'm going to allow the designer to add content to this new library that I'm creating. The reason I'm doing that is that now if I go back to the designer dashboard, I can start to copy content and add it to the content library that I've just shared with that dashboard. So for instance, I could go into one of the replies. I could share this reply here. And then I can save it to a different content library, the one that I've just shared. Okay, so I can now, that's now being saved. And this reply is also going to be available here. So I would repeat that over again for a few times. And then once I'm happy that my replies have been transferred over, I can go ahead and delete my replies and sort of do the same for videos and hashtags and so on. So that's how you can transfer content from one content library to a content library that you've sort of made available. Now, the last asset that I wish to talk about is reports. Now, if I go into my reports while in the designer dashboard, you can see there's 2 reports that the designer dashboard owns. Unfortunately, there's no way to transfer or permanently share these reports. I would have to rebuild these reports in a dashboard that I intend to keep. So what I would do is, if it's just a reporting template, easy, you can just use one of these reporting templates on another dashboard. If it's a custom report, then what I would recommend you do is to print and save your report as a PDF or just open in a new tab. And then you can go ahead in a new dashboard and sort of rebuild this report, add the modules in a dashboard that you intend to keep. Right. Okay. Don't forget, get your questions in on the questions tab, as it will be almost time to go through those. But while we still have a little bit more time, let's actually take a look at how you delete those users. So let's go back to manage users over here and back into my dashboard. Right. So there's a couple of different ways to remove a user. Now, first, let's keep an eye on the stats over here. This tells you how many users you've used and how many users you have available. Now, I've taken the scheduled posts and copied some content that I need. So I'm happy to now go and delete or make this user inactive. So all you need to do is open the user here. And you've got first the options to make a user inactive. Okay, so if I do this and update the user, this is now shown as red. It is an inactive user. So you still only have those 6 available users. This won't change to 7 until you delete this user. Okay, so making the user inactive isn't going to give you an additional user seat. Important to note. A user that's inactive won't be able to log in, and admins and anyone that used to have access to this dashboard will no longer see designer in the My Dashboard dropdown. So it's like a soft delete. Okay. Now you can easily restore this user just by making them active again, and then everything goes back to normal. So rather than deleting a user, what you may want to do is to repurpose a user. Maybe I have a new designer starting next week. I could keep this inactive for a week. And then when my new designer joins, I could overwrite the email, the username, and the password for my new designer. So that when they have access, they'll have access to the same content libraries, profiles, reports, scheduled messages, and so on. So you could repurpose the dashboard. However, I may not have a new designer. I may just be my designer. and therefore I'd want to go and delete this user. Now, remember, if you delete a user, you will lose the reports, the content library, the connected profiles if you haven't taken those actions. Okay. Now, if you delete a user by accident, you have up to 30 days to get in contact with us, where we can go into the back end and restore the user. Okay. So that's a 30-day sort of safety net if you delete a user by accident. Okay, that's great. So the last thing I want to talk about here is every account will have a main admin. Okay, so they're normally sitting here at the top, and you can also find them in the company details in this sort of grayed out drop down. Now, there will be cases where the admin is also due to leave, move on, etc. Now, admins can't be deleted in the manage users section. If I open the admin seat here, you can see there's no option to make them a client, a team member, inactive. And there's no option to delete the main admin either. So you always need at least one user seat on your account, and you always need a main admin to control the billing and to be the person that we correspond with. So if you are losing your main admin, what I would recommend you do is to definitely repurpose this user. Use a different email address, maybe another sort of secondary admin that's sort of moving up. So I may need to sort of make Savannah into an admin. So I'll copy Savannah's details and update that into sort of Marcus McLagan. And you need to make sure you're not using the same email multiple times. So if I did need to use Savannah's email, I would sort of I'd make an alternative version here first before taking this one and using it in the main admin. So a little bit back and forth, but the logic is, we definitely need to have the one main administrator. Now, let's just take a quick look at what happens if you have more than one administrator. So I'm just going to turn Savannah here into an admin. Okay, so now in this instance, I have two administrators. Marcus McLagan, the main one, which, we can't be deleted, can't be inactive. But Savannah, who's just become an admin, you'll notice there's no option to delete here. Okay, so by default, admins cannot be deleted. If I needed to delete this admin here, I would first need to convert them into a client or a team member, update the user, revert back, and then you will see there's the option to delete. Okay, so to delete admins, there's a little bit of a workaround just to convert them into a different user type. So go into account, change them from admin to either a client or a team member, update the details, and next time you open the user card, you'll see the option to go ahead and delete that user. Okay, excellent. I think that's most of the things I wanted to cover. I don't see any questions yet, which is either means I've done a good job in explaining, or people are a little bit shy. I did have Farinaz joining now. There may be an issue with the mic. Farinaz, if you can hear me, let us know if you can join. Just going back into the chat. It wasn't Canada, actually. It was California. Thank you. Peter says it must be my explanation. Jackie saying good job. Jeremiah, love the name, saying that I killed it. Well, hopefully just in this sense. Peter,
hey,
hello.
Hello, buddy. Looks like Farinaz is having some issues with her technical difficulties, as they say on television back in the day when things went a bit awry.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd just jump on. I'm part of the CS team, but I used to be part of the support team. So if there are any questions that need answers, then yeah, let's see what we can do here.
That's fine. No, so far so good, actually. Let's just see. So we spoke about 30 days to restore. Yeah, I think I'm okay. Give people
Awesome.
time for questions. Just a couple more minutes. You never know.
Well, yeah, we could always shoot the breeze if you want while we wait for some questions.
What was your favorite winter sport? Was you snowboarding as well?
I was snowboarding, mainly because I just think of the old game on PlayStation, the SXX SXX
yes.
Tricky.
Yes.
With the Beastie Boys song in the background. That's the only reason why I haven't watched any Olympic sports. Although the one that does spring to mind, obviously, is, of course, the bobsleigh because of Cool Runnings. So, that's one that always springs to mind. But that was a bit of an obvious answer. So,
That was, I'm surprised I didn't go for that one.
Okay.
No, even after shooting the breeze, still no questions. So in that case, I'm going to respect all of your time and give you 9 fabulous minutes back to your Thursday. Thank you for joining. Let's take a quick look over here and see what we have planned for you next week. Oh, we do have off topic though. We don't really do off topics, but we do have a few minutes. So I just wanted to throw it out there about accessibility. Hope and Sendible, yes, we do listen, and it is on our list. Alt tags actually is what was mentioned. So what I like to point people towards with questions like that is to our feedback portal. So feedback.sendible.com. I will add the link to the chat as well for those guys here. Where are you? I'll add it as an answer here. Now, over here is where you can actually search for things like accessibility and alt text. So let's do a search for alt text, which is kind of the text that you add behind an image for screen readers to pick up, for those that don't know. So alt text for all social media platforms is one. Here we go. This is what you need to vote on here. Adding alt text to Twitter posts would be excellent for the visually impaired. We know it's not just Twitter, it's any image on a social media platform. So Akiko, if you could kind of follow that process, just search for alt text in feedback.sendible.com, and then you can vote this idea up. So the more votes, the more comments, then the more likely we can get this implemented into the system.
It's like they used to say on a game show, what do points make? Prizes.
Alt tags. Oh, yeah, prizes, sorry. Very good point, though.
Very good point. Thank you for that, Marcus. And we do listen, unlike some other platforms that may go, go and vote on our feature request, and then it's forever lost. And then we do actually listen to customers with feature requests. Some areas that you might be aware of within the platform or may not be aware of in the platform that have come about from feature requests is the video editing features that we released last year, the option to be able to add location for Instagram, and also the option to be able to put hashtags on your Instagram comments as well when they go first out. So we do listen, we do respond. So please do let us know what you want, because it's only through you that we're successful. So
that is very true. Okay, thank you, Pete. And
worries.
thank you, Akiko, for a great question there.
Yeah, okay, that's an awesome question.
Not sure if I see anyone else typing famous last words though. So
four questions are going to pop up just as you're like closing it down.
Yeah. But yeah, so what is next week? Sorry, that's what I was trying to let you guys know. So next week, it's very important. We're going to take a deep dive into Facebook's admin setup. So as you know, Facebook is Meta is going through some changes. So we are going to advise you, Heather and Peter. It's not Peter, it's Costa, sorry.
It's Costa.
We'll take you through what that ideal setup looks like, help answer any questions that you're facing with connecting your Facebook profiles to your dashboard. So going to be a really useful session. Same time next week, different people, but just as useful. All right, just Jeremiah is in the chat here. Just some more thank yous. No, you are totally welcome. Always a pleasure to keep you guys informed with sort of the best tips and tricks. Okay.
Cool.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining. Have a great day and great weekend, and we'll see you all again soon.
Cool. Take care, guys. Bye.
All right. Bye. Thank you, Pete.
Happy sending. No worries, buddy.
Cheers now.
See you later. Bye.